a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat under a juniper tree. And he requested for himself that he might die, and said, "It is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers."
All right.
What did he do? Well, the assignment that you have been given is more difficult than you thought it would be.
All right.
Quitting isn't an option.
Not an option.
What you do?
Jesus.
How do you live when the assignment that the Lord has given you is really, really hard? You want to quit, but you can't.
Yeah.
You can't quit, but you want to. Want you to just say, "Shh, it's a secret in the room." There's not one person in this room that doesn't have a secret.
All right.
There's not one person in this room that doesn't have something they don't want somebody else in this room to know about.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Something that the devil is trying to hold against you or against your children.
Yes.
It's that little secret that the enemy tries to terrorize you with, to threaten you with, to intimidate you with, to torment you, to really humiliate you, and to disgrace you with.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Life will throw a curveball at you. Oh, man.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to live with the things you can't change, because life doesn't go always the way you planned it.
Yeah.
Kids don't always turn out the way you want them to be. Your marriage don't always go the way you planned it. The job doesn't always work out. And even the designer breed dog that you had made doesn't work out the way you planned it, but you still got to go on.
Yeah.
All right. Enough now.
I have a word for you today that I believe will cause you to walk in victory in spite of and despite what the devil keeps trying to tell you. In spite of what you have going on in your life, I want you to know you can go on.
Yeah.
Elijah was a mighty man of God.
Yes, he was.
And if you back up just a little bit, in chapter 18, he had just called down fire and had been, he was at the top of his moment.
Yes,
he had been called down fire, and fire came.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mighty prophet of God. And now, in just one little chapter later, we find that not only is he not a mighty man of God, but he run.
Yeah.
That's right now. You're right.
Look, he ain't just running, y'all.
Yeah.
That's right.
Let me tell you something. When you really running, you get to start running, and you know what? Look what it did. It said he dropped his servant off. That means I ain't got no time for baggage, because I got to get up out of here.
Yes.
And so he dropped off the servant, and he is now under a juniper tree. And he telling the Lord, I had enough. Anybody here ever had enough?
All right.
Anybody here just want to drop off a few things and just say, okay, I've been under a tree. All right.
Yes.
I want you to know you got to be careful how you handle your high moments in life, because with every mountain there's some valleys if you keep walking. I said if you keep walking. A whole bunch of people like to stay at the top, but if you keep walking, there's going to be some low spots.
There's going to be some low spots. Absolutely.
See, all of us have been hypocritical at some
All
point.
right.
I like to call it Monday morning quarterback.
Oh.
Moments when from the outside looking in, you can always tell somebody what they could have done, what they should have done, until you get the battalion in your hand yourself and you discover that it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
All right.
Y'all don't understand.
All right.
Isn't it funny how you can judge other people and be guilty yourself?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Of all the wonderful things you can do in your life, it only takes one incident that can mar your entire life.
Yeah.
One moment of weakness, one moment of passion, one moment of foolishness that can mess up a glowing career and be a blot on your record for your entire life.
Yeah.
You'll find that people will try to define you by the one mistake and forget all the positive things you have done.
Yes.
I want you to know that there's a certain vulnerability that comes with being on top. Everybody likes the spotlight, but not everybody can take the heat.
All right.
And you cannot get the bright light without the heat. And so before you start craving the spotlight, you better get ready for the heat, because you can't separate the light from the heat.
All right.
And so here Elijah is, and mighty man of God, the mighty prophet. It said that even he was dead and they threw bones in the grave and they got back up.
Right.
That was his prophet. See, that the man that he had trained had that much power, and he was one that the Lord just took him on up to be with him. Chariots, sent chariots to get him. And now I want you to see that was the end, but the middle part, if you're going to walk with God, get hard sometimes.
It gets hard now. Yes, it does.
Yes.
All right.
You'll be surprised at how many people in this room are all dressed up, but they're ready to give up.
All right.
You'll be surprised at how many marriages in this room are already over.
Yeah.
I mean, you still live in the same house. You go home and pretend all is well, but there's just, as my mama said, present but absent. You'd be shocked at how many people with good jobs are ready to throw in the towel. They're tired of being criticized. They're tired of being ridiculed. Tired of not feeling good enough. And you just want to just quit.
Just quit.
Life has some funny curves and turns, and I'm telling you, all the colloquial terms that the church uses ain't going to help you right now.
All right now.
When you feel like giving up and when you're ready to throw up deuces and say, adios, I'm going on to the house, when you hit a wall, what do you do?
All right.
Look at your neighbor, say, this message is for me. It's for me, it's for me, it's for me. You ever decided that you're going to quit?
Oh, yeah.
You ever made plans on how you're going to quit?
Yes.
You've already decided, you've already played it out through your mind,
Yes.
and you just waiting on the opportunity to just say, whoop.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
You know that usually happens when you finally make up your mind that that's it. I'm done with it. I want you to know that's the point when you got to say, oh wait, hold on a minute.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do when it's more difficult than you thought? Quitting isn't an option, because if it was so easy to quit, you would just quit. You wouldn't have made a plan to quit.
Right.
You'd already just quit.
Yes.
And what do you do? You know, there's 1,000 ways that you can go wrong, but ain't but one you can get right.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been at the pinnacle of your success and something from your past keeps coming back to revisit you? It tries to stop you, block you, and make you quit. And I know you think you're all that, but remember, even Superman had kryptonite.
That's right
I'm
now.
just talking to myself.
That's right now.
Talking about the secret pains that we bear. You can dress it up and you can look good, and nobody even knows that you're hanging on by a thread. And you're dealing with all kind of your own insecurities, your own pain, and your own injustices, and you're just trying to smile. And even in all your smile, they hating on you, and underneath it all, they hating on you, and they don't even know I'm tired. You ain't got to talk about me to make me quit. I'm ready there already.
Yes.
I'm just going to talk about me a little bit.
Good enough.
And so with one hand, you're fighting back haters, and with the other hand, you're trying to lay hands on yourself and heal yourself. Ever been there?
Yes.
Yes.
And nobody has a clue of what you're going through, and they don't know that I'm smiling over top of pain, and I'm really trying to deal with the pitfalls on the road to destiny. And sometimes you hit a pitfall, and you have to just stop and pull over a minute.
That's right.
You have to stop dancing and singing in church because you realize that ain't nothing but noise, and you get a moment that you got to say, God, I don't want to dance and shout through this no more, but I need to be delivered so enough. This time, God, I got to get free for real.
For real.
All right, I'm by
For
myself.
real. No, y'all, I'm with you.
All right.
For real.
Out of all these conferences that we're going to, and folk are screaming and shouting, but I want to know, I told some of y'all, I want to know, is the deaf starting to heal? Do the blind not see? Because if all the stuff was going on in the conferences that they said was going on, surely the dead ought to be able to walk by now. Surely every building fund ought to be fulfilled by now. If all of what they said was going on, we just gonna walk on up to glory. So I'm telling you that we are running, and we act like we're running in the spirit, but in fact, you're running away from crises. So when you see folks running in church, all of them ain't running because the spirit didn't hit them.
All
Right now.
Making a whole lot of noise, but ain't producing no fruit, because the word said you can tell a tree by the what?
Fruit it bears.
All right, and so when you stop and take a station identification, you're going to realize that folk a whole lot of moving, and they ain't got no power, they got no conviction, and they ain't got no authority. They're working on suspect credentials.
Yes.
And it's time for us to start dealing with the secret things that hold us back, that keep us down. You know, the secret stuff that make you eat at night, the stuff that make you know, the stuff that makes you have like a little bit of glass of wine in the middle of the day, the stuff that keeps your blood pressure up and keeps your head down, and it's time for you to say, I have had what? Enough. I thank God for Brother Elijah because he was honest enough that he had really, see, because a lot of us have already quit.
That's right.
You can tell by your actions or your slow movements. You know when you really don't want to do something, you start acting like you're going to do it, but you really don't want to. And you really hoping that somebody get disgusted enough with you that say, never mind, forget it, because guess what? You didn't want to do it anyway.
Yeah.
All
Right? Look at your neighbor and say, enough.
Enough.
Brother Elijah had got to the point where he was tired of putting on charades. And there's time when you just got to say you scared.
All right.
Jezebel, let me tell you something. Ahab, king of Israel, had to sat here and got with a woman he ain't had no business with. Ever been there?
All right.
And so, verse 19:1 says, and when Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done. See, Ahab had a little problem with Elijah. And you know, sometimes when you got problems with people, you'll make them your issue.
Yes.
And he said, I had all that Elijah had done. Elijah hadn't done anything but what the Lord told him.
Yes.
But I'll tell you, he went and told.
Yes.
Ever had any telltale?
Yes.
Too many. Jesus Christ.
And they want to go tell.
Right to leave.
They want to tell.
Yeah.
Look what they want to tell. He said, and when he had told Jezebel, now who was she? I want you to see that there's some stuff already out of order. This man of God
Yes.
went and told this woman of hell
Yes.
all that Elijah had done.
Yes.
And you can tell right there that the story done already got messed up because Elijah ain't done nothing. And so he already got the story twisted, so you know what he ain't going to be.
That's right.
The foundation is already messed up.
Right.
It said how he had slain all the prophets with a sword. He didn't kill. They said he killed over 400 in one day. Just gone. And y'all, let me tell you something. You got to read the story about this little lady Jezebel because she was one hot mess.
Yes, she was.
And when she knew that her time was come, let me tell you something. She knew they had prophesied that she would be torn asunder by dogs. And let me tell you something. When they had called her, come get up, she said, wait a minute, let me put on my makeup first.
Yeah.
I want you to know that there's some people that are so stubborn in their sin. They know their time is up. They know they can't win, but they'll take it out with you. And they'll drag you down with them if you ain't careful. It's time for some real deliverance. It's time for some folks to get set free. It's time for you to let go of the weeds in your life that keeps trying to choke out your mission, that keeps trying to make you forfeit your assignment, that makes you give up on the call of your life. It's time for you to deal with the monster in the closet, if you're under the bed, if you're behind the curtain, and it's just time for you to declare